I watched the only woman who ever loved me die in the filthy snow of an alleyway. Her hands were red and frostbitten. She wasn't wearing a coat because she had wrapped it around me. A useless, crippled beggar. Lucy. I tried to scream, but only a raspy wheeze came out. My voice, once the voice of a god of music, had been destroyed by poison 5 years ago. Poison given to me by my wife, Bella, and my best friend, Denver. Lucy looked up at me. Her face was dirty, but her eyes were so clear. She raised her trembling hands one last time. She signed slowly, "Don't cry. Your songs were always my favorite." Her hands dropped. Her eyes closed. The mute girl who had silently written all my hit songs, the girl I had bullied and ignored in high school, had died trying to keep me warm. I screamed silently into the void. I hated them. I hated Bella for stealing Lucy's songs and framing me. I hated Denver for poisoning me. But most of all, I hated myself. If there is a God. I wept, clutching Lucy's cold body. Let me do it again. I won't be a star. I won't be a prince. I just want to be her voice. My vision went black. Chapter 1. Trash like you shouldn't touch the piano keys. You're mute, not deaf. Play it faster. Crash. The sound of a piano lid slamming shut jolted me awake. The smell of rotting garbage and snow vanished, replaced by the scent of expensive perfume and floor wax. I opened my eyes. I wasn't in the alleyway. I was in the music room at Star Arts Academy. My hands, they were smooth. Young. I touched my throat. It didn't hurt. "Henry, are you listening?" A shrill, annoying voice rang out. I looked up. Standing there was Bella. She looked 18 again, beautiful but with a cruel sneer on her face. And on the floor, curled into a ball, was Lucy. She was wearing a ragged school uniform. She was shaking, terrified, clutching her bruised fingers. She looked up at me, her eyes filled with fear. She frantically signed, "I'm sorry. I won't touch it again. Please don't hit me." My heart stopped. It was 10 years ago, the day Bella forced Lucy to play until her fingers bled, just for amusement. In my past life, I had laughed and thrown a coin at Lucy. "Henry, look at this mute freak," Bella laughed, grabbing my arm. "She doted your piano bench. I was just teaching her a lesson." Rage. Pure, white-hot rage exploded in my chest. I looked at Bella's hand touching my arm. It felt like a snake. I shoved her away violently. "Ah!" Bella stumbled back in her high heels. "Henry!" I didn't answer. I walked toward Lucy. She flinched, covering her head with her arms. The sight broke my heart into a million pieces. I knelt down. I didn't care that my expensive pants touched the dusty floor. I reached out and gently took her trembling hands. "Does it hurt?" I asked softly. The entire room went dead silent. Bella's jaw dropped. Lucy stayed at me, paralyzed. She had expected a slap, not a caress. "Henry, what are you doing?" Bella shrieked. "She's just a servant's daughter. She's full of germs." I slowly stood up. I turned to Bella. My eyes were so cold that Bella actually took a step back. "Bella, you said she doted the room." "Yes." Bella pointed at Lucy. "She doesn't belong here." I nodded slowly. I picked up Bella's prize violin from the table. It was a Stradivarius copy, worth $50,000. Her pride and joy. "You're right," I said. "Something in this room is filthy." Smash! I swung the violin against the corner of the piano. Wood splintered. Strings snapped. The bridge flew across the room. In seconds, the expensive instrument was nothing but firewood. Bella screamed. A sound of pure horror. "My violin. My dad gave me that." I tossed the broken neck of the violin at her feet. "It was dirty," I said, my voice low and dangerous. "Just like your soul. Get out, before I break your hands next." Chapter 2. Bella ran out crying. Her minions followed, looking at me like I was a monster. The music room was quiet. I turned back to Lucy. She was still on the floor, staring at the broken violin pieces, then at me. She signed hesitantly. "That was expensive." I chuckled. It sounded wet. I was holding back tears. I signed back. "My movements were fluid and perfect. Not as expensive as your hands." Lucy gasped, a silent, sharp intake of breath. Her eyes widened to the size of saucers. She signed back frantically. You know sign language. In my past life, I didn't. But after she died, I spent 10 years learning it, just to understand the letters she left behind. I learned it, I signed, so I could hear you. She looked confused, scared, but also hopeful. I extended my hand to her. Stand up. Let's go. She hesitated. Where? To the principal. No, I smiled. To lunch. I took her to the VIP cafeteria. I ordered everything on the menu. Steak, lobster, soup, cake. When I put the tray in front of her, she shook her head aggressively. I have no money. I can't pay you back. Eat, I commanded gently. If you don't eat, I'll smash the piano next. She grabbed the fork. She was terrified I was crazy, but she was also starving. She took a bite of the steak. Tears instantly rolled down her cheeks. She ate quickly, like someone who hadn't seen hot food in days. Just then, Denver walked in. He saw the broken violin news on the school forum and came running. Henry, are you insane? You broke Bella's violin for her. He pointed at Lucy with disgust. Dude, she's a mute. She's basically a pet. Why are you creating drama for a pet? I put down my glass of water. I looked at Denver, the best friend who would one day hand me the poison cup. I stood up. I didn't say a word. I picked up the bowl of hot clam chowder from my tray. Splash! I dumped the entire bowl over Denver's head. Thick, creamy soup dripped down his expensive designer hair and jacket. He screamed like a little girl. Hot! It's hot! Oops, I said, my face completely expressionless. My hand slipped. Denver, you owe me $50,000 from last month. Transfer it back by tonight. If you don't, I'm sending the audit team to your dad's company. Denver froze, soup dripping from his nose. How do you know about the audit? I leaned in close, whispering so only he could hear. I know about the gambling debts. I know about you and Bella. Stay away from me, or I'll ruin you. I grabbed Lucy's hand. Let's go. The air here stinks. Chapter 3. I drove Lucy to the city center. She was clutching the seatbelt, looking at me sideways. She signed, Who are you? You are not the Henry I, no. I smiled sadly. The Henry you knew was an idiot. He died. I'm the Henry who knows who the real genius is. I took her to a music store. I bought a top-tier synthesizer and a stack of composition notebooks. Then I took her to a clothing store and bought her a warm, white coat. The same kind of coat she had given me in the alleyway before she froze to death. When she put it on, she looked like a snow angel. I handed her the notebook. Lucy, I said, I know about the song. She stiffened. What song? Starlight, I said. The one Bella is planning to submit to the star competition next week. The one she stole from your locker. Lucy looked down, defeated. It doesn't matter. No one will believe a mute girl wrote it. Bella is famous. I am nobody. I lifted her chin so she had to look at me. You are not nobody. You are my songwriter. We are going to enter that competition. But not with Starlight. We're going to write something better. And when Bella plays your stolen song on stage, we will destroy her. Chapter 4. The next week was a blur. I moved Lucy into the guest wing of my mansion. I hired a lawyer to emancipate her from her abusive aunt. We spent every waking hour in my studio. Lucy was shy at first, but when she sat at the piano, she transformed. Her fingers danced. The melodies she created were haunting, complex, and beautiful. I sang the lyrics she wrote. When I sang, her eyes would light up with a brilliance that outshone the sun. Your voice, she signed, is exactly how I imagined my soul would sound. The day of the star competition arrived. The entire school and industry scouts were there. Bella was the favorite to win. She walked backstage, holding a new violin, looking smug. She saw Lucy and me. Henry, she sneered. Did you bring your pet to watch me win? I'm performing Starlight today. It's my masterpiece. I just checked my watch. Good luck, Bella. Break a leg. Bella went on stage. The lights dimmed. She began to play and sing. It was Starlight. The audience was mesmerized. It was a beautiful song, because Lucy wrote it. As Bella finished, the crowd erupted in applause. She bowed, tears of fake joy in her eyes. "Thank you. I wrote this song for my ex-boyfriend, Henry, to show him what he lost." The judges were impressed. "A true prodigy," one shouted. Then, it was our turn. "Next up," the announcer said, confused. "A duo? Henry Wang and Lucy." We walked out. The crowd murmured. "The mute girl." I sat at the microphone. Lucy sat at the piano. I looked at the audience. "The song we are about to perform," I said, my voice amplified through the hall, "is called The Thief Dot, and it is dedicated to the person who performed just before us." Bella's smile froze backstage. Chapter 5. Lucy began to play. The melody was angry, fast, powerful. It was a variation of Starlight, but twisted, evolved, and far more complex. It proved instantly that whoever wrote Starlight had written this too. But this version required a skill level Bella didn't possess. I began to sing. My voice, rested and trained, soared. The lyrics were cutting. She wears a mask of gold, but her hands are stained with ink that isn't hers. She stole the stars, but she cannot hold the sky. The audience was stunned. The complexity of Lucy's piano playing was undeniable. It made Bella's performance look like a nursery rhyme. As the song ended, I signaled to the tech crew. I had paid them a lot of money for this moment. On the giant screen behind us, a video began to play. It was security footage from the music room 3 months ago. It showed Bella rummaging through Lucy's locker. It showed Bella finding the notebook, laughing, and taking a picture of the sheet music for Starlight. Audio played. "Look at this. The mute wrote a song. I'm going to use this. She can't speak up anyway." The auditorium went deadly silent. Then, the whispering started. Then, the booing. Bella ran onto the stage, screaming, "Turn it off. It's fake. It's AI." She tried to grab the microphone from me. I held it out of reach. "Lucy," I said into the mic, "tell them." Lucy stood up. She walked to the center of the stage. She didn't speak. She raised her hands. On the giant screen, a live translation of her sign language appeared. "Music is the sound of the heart. You can steal my notebook. You can steal my melody. But you can never steal my voice. Because my voice is him." She pointed at me. The crowd erupted. A standing ovation. Security guards dragged a screaming Bella off the stage. I walked over to Lucy. In front of thousands of people, I hugged her. I felt her tears soaking my shirt. "We did it," I whispered. "This is just the beginning." Chapter 6. The applause had barely faded when the real war began. Backstage, as I wiped the stage makeup off Lucy's face, the door to our dressing room banged open. It wasn't Bella. It was her father, Mr. Blackwood, the CEO of Blackwood Entertainment, the biggest music label in the country. Behind him stood 2 large bodyguards in dark suits. Lucy flinched, instinctively hiding behind me. I didn't move. I continued to button Lucy's coat, my hands steady. "Henry Wang," Mr. Blackwood boomed. "You have 5 minutes to issue a public apology. You will tell the press the video was a deep fake. You will tell them Bella wrote that song." He threw a checkbook onto the makeup table. "Name your price." 1 million. 2. I finished buttoning Lucy's coat. I turned around slowly, picking up the checkbook with 2 fingers as if it were dirty. "Mr. Blackwood," I said, my voice bored. "Do you know why your stock price dropped 15% in the last hour?" Mr. Blackwood paused, his face turning purple. "What?" "Because the internet isn't stupid," I said. "And neither am I." I ripped the check in half, then in quarters. I let the confetti fall onto his polished shoes. "You think money can buy talent? That's why your daughter is a failure. She had the best teachers, the best instruments, and my support. And she still lost to a girl who practiced on a drawn-on keyboard on a cardboard box." Mr. Blackwood stepped forward, his fists clenched. "You are a child playing business, Henry. I will blacklist you. No radio station will play your songs. No venue will book you. I will bury you." I smiled. A shocked smile. In my previous life, his band destroyed me. But in this life, I knew something he didn't. The era of TV and radio was dying. The internet was king. Go ahead, I challenged him. But just so you know, I'm not signing with anyone. I'm starting my own label, Silent Records. And our first artist will be the girl you just threatened. I grabbed Lucy's hand and pushed past him. As we walked out, I heard him smashing the mirrors in the dressing room. Lucy looked at me, her eyes wide with worry. She signed, "He is powerful. Are you scared?" I squeezed her hand. "He is the past. We are the future." Chapter 7. The next day, the news was everywhere. Golden couple breakup. Mute girl prodigy shocks the nation. Bella Blackwood accused of plagiarism. I ignored the calls from reporters. I had something more important to do. I took Lucy to the largest instrument showroom in the city. Lucy walked in like she was entering a temple. She touched the keys of the pianos gently, afraid to leave fingerprints. I walked straight to the center of the room. There it was, a Steinway & Sons Model D handcrafted, glossy black, the Rolls-Royce of pianos. Price tag, $180,000. "We'll take it," I told the sales manager. Lucy gasped. She frantically pulled my sleeve. She signed so fast her hands were a blur. "No, Henry, no. It costs as much as a house. I can't play this. I'm not worthy." I knelt down in front of her, right there in the showroom. "Lucy, look at me. In the past, I mean, in a dream I had, you played on a broken keyboard with missing keys. And you still made the most beautiful music in the world. A knight needs a sword. This is your sword. You are going to use this to fight Bella. Do you still think it's too expensive?" Lucy bit her lip, tears shimmering in her eyes. She slowly sat down at the bench. She played a single chord. The sound was rich, deep, and resonant. A smile broke across her face. Pure, unadulterated joy. It was worth every penny. Suddenly, a mocking voice came from the entrance. "Buying toys with Daddy's money. Henry." It was Denver. He looked worse than before. His eyes were bloodshot. He was flanked by 3 thugs who looked like they belonged in a prison, not a piano store. Denver owed gambling sharks a lot of money, and since I cut him off, he was desperate. "Denver," I sighed, standing up to block Lucy from his view. "I thought I told you to get lost. You ruined me." Denver shouted, spit flying. "My dad cut off my cards because of your audit threat. I have nothing. Give me the money you spent on this piano. Now, or my friends here will smash it," and her fingers. One of the thugs stepped forward, pulling out a baseball bat. Lucy froze. She stopped playing. She started to shake, the trauma of her past abuse surfacing. I didn't flinch. "Denver, you really are stupid. You think I walk around unprotected now that I'm famous?" I snapped my fingers. From the back office, 4 private security guards I had hired that morning stepped out. They were ex-military, twice the size of Denver's thugs. Denver's face went pale. "Break his legs," I said calmly, "and throw him out." Chapter 8. The Nightmare. Chapter 8. That night, a storm raged outside. Thunder shook the windows of my mansion. I was in my study, planning the launch of Silent Records, when I heard a scream from the guest room. A silent scream. I rushed in. Lucy was thrashing in her bed, caught in a nightmare. She was signing in her sleep. "Stop, please. It hurts. Don't lock the door." I realized she was dreaming about the basement Bella used to lock her in. "Lucy, wake up." I shook her shoulders gently. She gasped and shut up, eyes wild. When she saw me, she didn't relax. She scrambled back against the headboard, curling into a ball. She looked at her hands, checking if they were broken. I sat on the edge of the bed. "It's okay. You're safe. You're with Henry." She looked at me, trembling violently. She slowly raised her hands. "I should leave. Denver is right. I am a burden. You are in danger because of me. Bella and Denver will hurt you. Please let me go back to the streets." My heart ached. Even now, terrified, she was trying to protect me, just like when she gave me her coat in the snow. "No," I said firmly. "You are not a burden. You are my life." I reached out and pulled her into a hug. She was stiff at first, then she melted, sobbing into my chest without making a sound. I stroked her hair. Lucy, listen to me. I have seen a future without you. It was cold. It was dark. And I died alone. I'm not saving you because I'm kind. I'm saving you because I need you. I need your music. I need you to be by my side. She pulled back, looking into my eyes. Why me? She signed. I took her hand and placed it over my heart. Because, I whispered, you are the only one who ever truly heard me. That night, I didn't leave her room. I sat in the chair by her bed until she fell asleep, guarding her from the ghosts of a past. Chapter 9, Breaking the Blockade. A week later, Mr. Blackwood made good on his threat. We released our first single, Voice of Silence, recorded in my home studio. I sent it to every major radio station. Rejection. 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 Sorry, Henry. We can't play this. Blackwood Corp threatened to pull all their artists if we do. We don't play music by mute composers. It's a gimmick. Lucy sat on the couch, reading the rejection emails over my shoulder. Her shoulders slumped. She signed, they won't let us in. We lost. I laughed. I stood up and grabbed my laptop. Lucy, they are guarding the front door. So we're going to blow a hole in the wall. We don't need radio, I told her. We have MidTube. YouTube equivalent. In this timeline, streaming was just starting to get big, but the major labels ignored it. They thought it was just for cat videos. I knew better. We are going to film a music video. Right here, right now. No fancy sets. No costumes. Just you, the piano, and me. We set up a simple camera. I opened the curtains to let the natural sunlight flood the room. Lucy wore a simple white dress. I wore a black shirt. We sat at the Steinway. I hit record. We performed Voice of Silence. It was raw, imperfect, emotional. Lucy's passion bled through the keys. My voice carried the pain of 2 lifetimes. At the end of the video, Lucy turned to the camera and signed one word, listen. I uploaded it. Title, the song they banned me from singing. I posted the link on my social media. Then, I tagged Bella and Blackwood Entertainment. Caption, try to delete this. Chapter 10. I woke up the next morning to my phone vibrating so hard it nearly fell off the table. I checked the screen. 10 million views. In 12 hours. The comments were going insane. I'm crying. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. Wait, the mute girl wrote this. She's a genius. Why isn't this on the radio? Justice for Lucy, Bella Blackwood is a fraud. This proves it. The internet had done its job. We were trending #1 worldwide. Mr. Blackwood's ban had backfired. By trying to silence us, he made us rebels. The youth loved it. Lucy woke up and walked into the living room, rubbing her eyes. I showed her the screen. She stared at the number. 10 million. She looked at me, stunned. Is this real? It's real, I grinned. We're famous. Suddenly, the glass of the front window shattered. Crash! A brick flew into the living room, landing near the piano. Lucy screamed silently, covering her ears. I ran to the window. Outside, jumping into a black van, I saw Denver. He shouted out the window as they peeled away. This isn't over, Henry. Watch your back. Accidents happen. I looked at the brick on the floor. Wrapped around it was a note. Next time, it's a bomb. Drop the lawsuit against Bella or die. My blood turned to ice. They weren't just trying to ruin my career anymore. They were trying to kill us. I turned to Lucy. She was shaking, terrified. I walked over and picked her up in my arms. Pack your bag, I said, my voice deadly calm. We aren't staying here tonight. They want a war. I'm going to give them a war. I pulled out my phone and dialed a number I hadn't used since my rebirth. My grandfather, the patriarch of the Wang family, a man even Mr. Blackwood feared. I had been trying to do this on my own, to be independent. But if they threatened Lucy's safety, I would use every weapon I had. Grandfather, I said when the line connected, I need the elite security team. And I need you to buy 51% of Blackwood Entertainment stock. Yes, hostile takeover. Tonight. Chapter 11. I drove the car through the iron gates of the Wang family estate. In my previous life, I had been too proud. I wanted to make it on my own as a singer, so I cut ties with my family. That was my mistake. Without power, talent is just a victim waiting to be crushed. Lucy looked out the window at the massive castle-like mansion. She grabbed my arm, trembling. She signed, "This is your home? It looks like a fortress." "It is," I said grimly. "And from tonight, it's your fortress too." We walked into the main hall. My grandfather, Master Wang, sat by the fireplace. He was 80, holding a cane with a dragon head. He had eyes like a hawk. He looked at me, then at Lucy. "So," he grunted, "the prodigal grandson returns, and he brings a guest." "Grandfather," I bowed deeply. "I need your help. Blackwood is trying to kill us." Grandfather laughed. It was a dry, scary sound. "Blackwood? That upstart? He thinks he can touch a Wang." He looked at Lucy. "And who is this? The girl causing all the trouble?" Lucy was terrified. She lowered her head. I stepped in front of her. "She is not trouble. She is my soul. In my dreams, she died for me. In this life, I will live for her. If you help me destroy Blackwood, I will quit playing around. I will take over the family business." Grandfather's eyes lit up. He had wanted me to be the CEO for years. "Deal," he said instantly. He picked up his phone. "Activate the sharks. Buy Blackwood stocks. Every single share available. Don't worry about the price." He looked at Lucy, his expression softening just a fraction. "Girl, if he is willing to sell his freedom for you, you better be worth it." Lucy raised her head. She didn't cower this time. She signed slowly. "I will not let him fall. I will be his wings." Grandfather didn't understand the signs, but he saw the fire in her eyes. He nodded. "Good." Chapter 12. Monday morning, 9 a.m. The boardroom of Blackwood Entertainment. Mr. Blackwood was laughing, his feet up on the table. "The video is blocked in 3 countries. I paid off the media," he boasted to his board members. "Henry is done. And that mute girl? I'll send her back to the slums." Bam! The double doors swung open. I walked in, wearing a tailored black suit. Behind me walked 6 lawyers and my grandfather's head of security. Mr. Blackwood stood up, furious. "Henry, how did you get in here?" "Security. Throw him out." "Security works for me now," I said calmly. I tossed a thick folder onto the table. It slid across and hit his hand. "What is this?" Blackwood sneered. "Read it," I said. "As of 8:55 a.m. this morning, the Wang Group has acquired 51% of Blackwood Entertainment. I am the majority shareholder." The room went dead silent. The other board members gasped. Blackwood's face turned white. "Impossible. That would cost billions." "Pocket change," I shrugged. I walked to the head of the table. "Mr. Blackwood, get out of my chair. You can't do this. This is my company," he screamed. "Not anymore," I said cold as ice. "You are fired for gross mismanagement and stock manipulation. And Bella, her contract is terminated immediately. Oh, and I'm freezing your assets pending an investigation into the embezzlement of company funds." Mr. Blackwood slumped against the wall, clutching his chest. He looked old, defeated. "Henry, please. Bella is just a child." "She is 18, I said. "She is an adult. When she locked Lucy in a basement, did you show mercy? When you threatened to bomb my house, did you show mercy?" "Security. Drag him out." 2 guards grabbed him. As he was dragged away screaming, I sat in the CEO's chair. I spun around and looked at the city skyline. 1 villain down. 1 to go. Chapter 13. With Blackwood destroyed, Denver panicked. His debts were due. The sharks were going to kill him. He blamed me for everything. He decided if he was going down, he was taking me with him. 2 days later, I was at the old recording studio downtown, picking up some master tapes. I had left Lucy in the car with a bodyguard. As I walked out the back exit, I smelled gasoline. I saw a shadow moving near my car. It was Denver. He was pouring gasoline all over my car, with Lucy inside. He held a lighter in his shaking hand. "Die, you rich, arrogant bastard. Die," he screamed. Lucy was inside, banging on the window, screaming silently. The bodyguard had been knocked out from behind. Denver. I roared. He turned, startled. Henry, stay back. I'll light it. The flame flickered inches from the fuel. Time slowed down. In my previous life, I was slow, weak, but I had been working out, and I was desperate. I didn't think. I sprinted. Do it. I'll kill her. Denver yelled. He flicked the lighter. I dove. I tackled in midair just as the lighter left his hand. We crashed onto the pavement. The lighter spun through the air and landed in a puddle of water. It hissed and went out. I didn't stop. I punched Denver in the face. Again and again. You tried to burn her. You tried to burn her. I lost control. All the rage from my past life, the poison, the betrayal, it all came out in my fists. Henry, stop. I felt a small hand on my shoulder. I froze. I looked up. Lucy had climbed out of the car. She was crying, shaking her head. She signed, "Don't become a murderer. Not for him. He isn't worth it." I looked down at Denver. His face was a bloody mess. He was unconscious. I panted heavily, my knuckles bruised. Sirens wailed in the distance. I stood up and hugged Lucy tightly. "I'm sorry," I whispered. "I almost lost you again." The police arrived. They found the gas can. They found the knife in Denver's pocket. Attempted murder. Arson. Denver was going away for a long, long time. Chapter 14. 3 months passed. Denver was in prison. Blackwood and Bella were bankrupt, living in a small motel. My new label, Silent Records, was the biggest thing in the industry, but we hadn't performed live yet. Tonight was the night. The Golden Throat Awards. The Grammys of our country. We were the mystery closing act. The venue was a stadium. 50,000 people. Backstage, Lucy was hyperventilating. She sat on the sofa, clutching her chest. The noise of the crowd outside was deafening. She signed rapidly. "I can't. Too many people. They will look at me. They will judge me. I'm just a mute girl. I belong in the shadows." I knelt before her, dressed in a white tuxedo. "Lucy." I took her hands to stop them shaking. "Do you remember the melody you wrote yesterday?" She nodded. "You named it the Phoenix," I said. "A phoenix is to burn to be reborn." I burned. You burned. Tonight, we rise. I won't let go of your hand. If you fall, I fall. I pulled out a small box. Inside were custom-made in-ear monitors. They were encrusted with blue diamonds. "Put these on. Block out the noise. Just hear the music. Just hear me." She took a deep breath. She put them in. She stood up, smoothing her blue dress, the color I told her suited her best. She signed, "Okay, let's go." Chapter 15. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Silent Melody. The platform rose. Lights blinded us. 50,000 people screamed. Lucy sat at the grand Steinway piano in the center of the stage. I stood by the microphone stand. The crowd went quiet, waiting. Lucy closed her eyes. She hit the first chord. It was powerful, aggressive, triumphant. It wasn't a sad ballad. It was a war cry. I began to sing. They poisoned the well. They stole the crown. But they forgot that gravity can't hold us down. The chemistry was electric. Every time I hit a high note, Lucy matched it with a complex run on the keys. We weren't two people performing. We were one entity. Mid-song, I walked over to the piano. I sat on the bench next to her, sharing the microphone. We slowed the song down for the bridge. I looked at her. She looked at me. The stadium faded away. It was just us, just like in the music room. I sang the final line, whispering it into the silence of the stadium. "The world may be loud, but I only hear you." The song ended. For 3 seconds, there was absolute silence. Then, the stadium exploded. People were crying, screaming, throwing flowers. Lucy stood up, her legs shaking. She looked at the sea of lights. She smiled. A real, dazzling smile. She grabbed my hand and raised it in the air. In the VIP section, my grandfather stood up and clapped slowly. In a cheap motel room miles away, Bella threw the remote at the TV and screamed in frustration. In a prison cell, Denver stared at the wall, regretting everything. On stage, Lucy turned to me. She didn't sign this time. She opened her mouth. Her vocal cords were stiff from disuse, her voice raspy and broken. But she forced the word out. N-R-Y. It was the first word she had spoken in 10 years. My eyes filled with tears. I pulled her into my arms and kissed her, right there in front of the world.